Hey there, so this is where we stopped last time. We have done logging in. We can log in, and once we log in, we go to the home page, which is what we focused on last time. And this has the dashboard, which we've not added any interface. Then we have the products page where we have some dummy data that's generated from this text, this widgets. And then we have order history or list of orders. Then we have profile. We have not developed this. Today I want us to finalize on this products page. We want to get these products from the server and then, organize all those products here. Let's get started. On the server side, we have our database, and inside this we have products table. This one, these are the products that we want to display on the products page. On the file manager, we have the scripts that we are using, which really represent our API. And I have said time and again, if we were to do a commercial application, the improvements that we need to make on our API, or rather the scripts. For simplicity, we just want to use PHP scripts as they are. So we are now supposed to come up with a script that reads everything from the database in terms of the products, and then we will test it with our Postman. If it works, we will go ahead and implement that on the application side. Looking at the login script, it is very similar to the logic that for we want to use for fetching or reading all the products. And so I'll copy all this code. I have given you the codes for the PHP scripts. So I will create another PHP script here. File get products.php. Okay, I'll open this, then paste all the code there and do away with what I don't need. To get products, I don't need to receive any inputs, that is the phone and the username. And so I'll also delete all of this, even the limit. I'll just say get everything from products. This is the name of my table. Go ahead, confirm whether that table exists. Table products, so that's fine. Get products. Let's finalize this. We are not interested in this variable. We just want whatever product we read, we want to put that or avail that to the app side. So I can use this name products. This is the position, or rather this index that holds the rest of the data. And this should be able to read all the products we have in our database. Let me test this on Postman. Okay, so the URL that we've been using. Okay, I know you know how to go about this. The folder name is gas cells, and then the script is get products.php. Generally, when we are dealing with real-time projects or real-life projects, we would want to secure this endpoint so that not everyone can just access this data. All right, let's see whether this gives us the data. 200 means good, success. And right here, we can already see that the data is coming back is inside this product key. We can extract all the data that we need. So this is good. Excuse me. Let's proceed with the application. On the application side, what should it take, or what should we do to represent or to present that data here as opposed to this dummy data? The very first thing is that we will need to create a model. Model. A model represents how or models how the data should appear. So we already have inside lib folder, we have views. We have a folder for controllers. I think we did that. We placed this inside, we placed home controller inside views. We need to correct that. So first I will create a folder directory for controllers. We've said we want to organize our project into model and view controller. So we want to move this to controllers. That's where we want to move our home controller. And that's gone. So we have controllers, we have views, we now need to have models. That file, sorry, this is not a file, this is a folder first, new directory, models, so that we now have M for models, V for views, and C for controllers, MVC. Right here, we want to create a model for the kind of data that we want to read from the server. So I'll call this product model. And we want a model that has all these parts or all these properties. So ID, product name, product description, image, and price. Let's have that here. So class, product, model. Okay. What are the properties here? ID, var, product name, var, product description, var, product image, var, product price. I think we have all the descriptions, or rather the properties of our model. Let me see if we are missing anything. Created date, not very important. Again, it is not everything that is coming back from the server that we are interested in displaying. So like the created date might not be very important in this particular scenario. Good. We have this, we can go ahead and create a constructor. Remember, product model or any model is just a class that holds uh, the properties and the methods of associated with that particular class together. So let's create a constructor here. Product model, and we know how that allows us to create constructors in a very concise way. Okay, so let's put these properties here. Required ID, and so that we initialize this without creating any extra extra field, then we want to use this so that as we call the constructor, we are able to initialize this. Excuse me. What am I missing here? Required this ID. Then we go to the next property. We repeat the same. Required this product name. Repeat the next one. P description. Repeat the next one, which I think is the image. Notice for the image, we're only interested in the name of the image. Then from there, we can get the image from the folder using price, this price. And this is good. We are done with this really. But we need one more, which we call a factory, which is able to get data from the JSON and present that and convert that into a model. So we actually need to come up with a factory. So look at what I will do here. Factory. This is product model. Product model that from JSON. This is the name of our, think of it as a named constructor. And then we want to get data which is organized into string and dynamic. I've said we use dynamic because when you look at these properties, you can't tell whether they will be string or double. What is this product model? Am I missing anything? Okay, let's just proceed. Product model. Then we need to return product model. So our task is to receive a JSON string and convert it into a product model and then return that. So let's finish this. We will replace with this with JSON, this one here, and the key that contains the ID. So when you look at the response that you're getting here, ID is under the key ID so that you get this value. So we will need to use that. So look at this ID. I need to move to the next one. JSON pname. If you miss these keys, then you will not get any data. So we need to be very careful with this. Let me separate this for readability. Okay. Close each of this. We don't need this. Okay. Right, I think we are making progress. What are we missing here? Sorry, we need to close this so this comes in here. And since it is a return statement, we need to terminate it with a semicolon. So there we go. We need to make sure that these keys match. Pname, image, price, they really must match. P description, is that what we good? So we are done with this. Now we will use it to actually get whatever data we are getting from the JSON string and convert it into a model. Now let's go to the product page right here. This is the page that is supposed to display these products as they come from the server. So we need to come up with a method that can go to the server, read the data, and bring it back. So right here, after this, we can have a method. This method will run or will bring back data into the future, and it's actually void, meaning we don't have to return the data. We can process it within the method. So I'll just call it get products. This method is called, it will read all the data and bring it back here. Good. Let's execute or make a URL request, a HTTP request to the server. For us to do that, we first need to have a class inside the pubspec YAML file, and that is HTTP, because we've used this in the login and the sign up screen, then it is definitely obvious that we have that. And so we can go ahead and make a request to the server. So look at how we're going to do this. First, we import HTTP here. I just write import HTTP, this one. And time and again, I've said HTTP exists in both HTTP package and GetX package, so that it's not confusing. Then we will use as HTTP. And anytime we want to refer to the HTTP that is inside GetX, then we will start with this particular, or anytime we are referring to functions and variables that are inside HTTP package, then we will start with HTTP. So the first thing we do here is to declare an object of response. Remember, response is inside HTTP. This is also available in both. So response, response. Response, okay, spellings. Okay, then now response is equals to, we want to read data from the server. So HTTP dot, we use a method called get, and then pass the URL here of the endpoint, API endpoint, in our case, the name of the script that we want to, that should return data. So let's use URI dot pass. Then we will place our URL here, the one that should bring back this data. So I'll go to Postman and copy this because we've already tested it and it works. Put it here, create more space right here. Okay, this call to the server is one that should be marked as await because we are not sure how long this can take, but we should not proceed to read the next, to process this data until we are sure that a response has come back. And that's why we are marking this as await. Since this is marked as await, a statement within this function, the entire function right here should be marked as async right here. Okay, I deleted everything. Okay, right here, async, and then the error disappears. So by the time this is all executed, we need to have something inside response. Before we process what response has, we need to check whether the response.status code is equivalent to 200. I think I've explained 200 means that the server responded successfully. Whether there is data or no data, that's another thing. But 200 means that on the server side, we did not have an error and the request was executed. And that's what we got here. This 200 here means okay. There are many other status codes that you might need to be familiar with. Else, for now here, we should have displayed a toast to say that there was an error. But for now, we can just print that error occurred. Remember, whatever is inside print statement is not visible at runtime. Error occurred. Okay. But this is not enough. This will not get the data into the list view. We just said if it's 200, we did not process this. So let's process this. Okay. So var, I'll just call it server response. The entire response from the server is equals to JSON. This exists in Dart.convert class. So if it is underlined, you might need to import that. But let's first proceed. Decode. What are we decoding? response dot the body, the response. That's what we want to decode. Body. Okay. Now, this server response, contains all this data, both success key and what is inside this data. Okay, I think we need to do away with data so that we only have products. So let me go to the server side. I realize we have another key called data, which we are not using. This one, we don't need it since we already have products. Yeah, let me run it one more time. Good. So we have success is a key which holds some value, and then we have products is a key which holds another JSON string, really, another list or set of lists that has the product. So we are interested in this. This is not of interest for now. So let's narrow down this to that particular key. So var product list is, let me call it product response, it's not really a list yet, is equals to server response and get products only. So we are now just dealing at this point, we are now focusing just on this. We have removed this part. We are now just focusing on what we have inside products. Very good. Now, how do we convert these products? It's a JSON of products. How do we now convert it into, a list of products that uses that model? That's now what we need to focus on. So now, var, we can now call this product list. Product list is equals to this product response. You can use other variables. We're just using this to make sure we understand what we are doing. So we want to map. Look at what I'm going to do here. I want to map this response as product, each of them as product into, remember that method we used in the product model called from JSON? That's what you're going to use. Product model dot from JSON. This one here is what is going to do all the translation for us. Here we need to pass product. Each of the items in that JSON string as a product will be translated. We need to close this because we opened it here, and then call a method called to list. It will be translated into a list so that now we convert it from just a JSON entry that represents the product to the product itself. And once this is done, then inside product list, we now have all the products that we have read from the server. Now, this product list is needed here. How do we go about that? First, we now need to realize that we are dealing with state management, because when we receive this, we need to notify this list that there is a change. This is the new set of products. We know that when we deal with state management, we need to create a controller class and use getX to manage that. So where are our controllers? We have home controller. I know we can use we can have many logics inside a single controller, but I want to separate this until you really get what we are doing. Once you understand what we are doing, you can merge and have fewer controllers. So allow me to have product controller here. Product controller. class product controller extends. Why are we doing this? So that we have a way of notifying the list when there is a new set of products. GetX controller kid. Now we declare the product list here. Product list. As we start, this is just empty. It has nothing, but we need to observe it. Very good. We also need a way to update it. So I write update product list. Product list. This is what we will use to notify this product list when there is a new set of data. So list here, just a variable, and then we can write product list dot value is equals to list. Do we need the value there? Let me see. Okay, yeah. So now that we have this, let's go back to our products and first declare the object of the controller. In other words, what we can use to access everything that is inside the product controller class. So product controller, just use the suggestion, product controller is equals to get dot put. This is actually what we call dependency injection. Product controller. And now we have an object here which we can use to access what is inside the product controller. So let's notify this controller of the new data set here. Right here, the object product controller dot update product list, and then pass this list that we've just created to that particular class. Okay, this is now notified of the change. Let us now see how we can map this data that we've just received that exists in the product list into this particular list view. Right. So the title is here, the description is here, and the price is here. So let's remove this hard-coded text and use the product controller object dot product list. This is a list, and then the index. Remember here we have index, the item builder, which determines whether we are on the first item, the second item in that list. Dot. Okay, let's observe this. What do we need here? Arguments constant must be constant. We need to do away with this constant because we're now not dealing with constants. We are dealing with variables from which we get the values. Now, which property are we interested in here? Description. Sorry, this is the product name. P. Okay, what am I missing? Product controller, product list. This should be pname. Let me check why this pname will not show here. Okay, then we got to the next one. The next one is product description. I'll just replace this. P description. Okay, then the next one is the product price right here. Replace this with price. Now we need to do one more thing. This size is not 5 anymore because we need to get the size of the list that we've just read. So product list dot length, you can see it there. Now the entire row here needs to be aware of the change. So we need to wrap this with OBX, the entire row, this one. Actually, is it the entire row? Let's check that again. Is there anything outside row that is using, yes, this is outside row and it is using the controller. So we need to expand that now to cover the entire list view here. This is now where we need to use OBX. OBX. Okay, now let's reload this and see whether we are able to get the data from says home controller is not a subtype of this. I'd rather we restart this and see whether, let me see the controller, product controller. Let's restart this and see whether we are able to get it to run. If it runs well, we should see the data from the server appearing. I've been exposing these credentials so that even if you develop your application using my endpoints and everything, you still will be able to get it to run. There is a problem. It's not displaying the data. Does that mean the data is not coming back from the server? There are a number of things we could check first. Oh, we are not calling this function. We did not call this. Remember, we just designed it. If we don't call it, the data will not come back. So we need to call this. For a start, we can put it as the first statement within the build method right here. Let's refresh this. Good. We can actually see the data is coming back. Gas, 13 kgs. The description is there. Let's do a few things so that we don't have this overflow. This line that has the description is what is overflowing, and so I will wrap it with expanded so that it can occupy more space, actually break into two lines if possible. No, that's not working. Okay, shall we try flexible? Let's see what happens when you do that. Still not working. We need a plan. Let's do this. The style here. Let's remove this. I think we will come back to expanded. We need it. Let's go to the style and allow many lines here. You see max lines. I want us to wrap this to allow it to have many lines. So do we have mean? Okay. Let me set max lines to 2 here. See what happens. Okay, let me wrap this with expanded because this is what is holding this. The column is what is holding the text. Good. There we go. Wow, breaking it down to Ali. I want it to occupy the entire space. Let me do one more thing. Wrap this with okay. We want it to fill the entire of this. If we wrap it with expanded on its own, let's see what we get. expanded. We will have expanded inside another expanded. Will that be a problem? Yes, it will. Row. We wrap it inside row. See if it occupies the entire space. Well, it does. I think that's what I wanted to achieve. Where is the right overflows again? Allow me to remove this expanded so that we see how this behaves now. Sorry, this is a child of what? Okay, it should just be, it should go, and then after the column, this can go. So let's go back to what we have. This overflow is on the right. On the right. Let me remove this. Remove widget. I'm thinking of overhauling it, but for now, maybe we can just have this. What do we have? An icon, we have it there. Then the size there. Then here we have a column. And then okay, it's this spacer here that is actually bringing this trouble. So I will remove this spacer. Yeah, good. Remove this spacer and we should be fine now. Sorry, I've not thought through the organization of this. What about the images? The images. So let's bring in the images here. So instead of icon, we will now use image dot network, where the image is coming from. We know the root URL, which is this one. This one. That's what we have there. But the images are inside a folder. Look at this order. We have a folder called gas cells. Inside the folder called gas cells, we have another folder called p images. So right here, I will put p images. That's a folder. Then on this now, we attach what we are getting from this as the image name. Remember, the image names are stored inside the database. So I put that here and change it to image. You can get this from the model, the spellings. Let's refresh this. Oh, no product. It says that we don't have, in product model, we don't have image. So let me go see what name we used. So I got the product model, or we called it p image, no problem. So go back to product. Let me close what I don't need. Okay, I could just go to products and change it to p image instead of image. Run it again. See whether the image appears here. Oh, it's too huge. Okay, no problem. Let's resize this image or provide the size for this image. So after providing the image name here, comma, we have just click on Control and Spacebar to see what we have. So we have width, I'll use 100. We have height, I'll use 100. Then refresh, see whether we get this image. Okay, we have an extra comma here. Let's see what we are getting here. Status code not found. Okay, let's revisit this particular URL. Product list index, p image. Are we missing anything? P images. Let's go back to this one. All right, I think we need okay, we have it here, p images. Okay, let's do this. Let's get the entire URL and one of the image names. Meanwhile, allow me to just check the model. What are we reading? P image. But what is this? Is it P image? No, that's where we are missing it. So before we go to another test, this key is not correct. Let's run this again. Good. So that was the issue. So we are getting our products and everything here. There's just a fear if this product is too big in terms of the height, it will disorganize this. So one of the things we can do is to go back here and specify the height of that row. So look at what I will do inside product. This row, I could wrap it with another widget. This is sized box, and just provide the height only, so that it really does not, the height does not keep changing depending on the height of the image. 200, let's look at how that looks like. Too big. 100, fair enough. And then all this, anything that is inside the row, we align it to, this is row, so cross alignment, we set it to center. Center. Row, so cross, that's fine. Also for the column, this is column, we can also set it to center here. Not this one. The main axis alignment, we set it to center. I think that's done. We are good. We are fine. Now, what is left of this page? We are able to get images from the server. And if you go there, maybe we can just go there in the database and create one more product. How many images do we have here? We have image for Taifa gas. Let's create that. Insert, product name, Taifa gas, 13 kgs. Can provide the description that fits here. The image, This is the image name. Allow me to just copy this, rename, get it, not this one. Where was I for 13 kgs? This one. Get that, put it here. Let's put it to like 1300 and create that. Notice what happens when I save this as if I want to hot reload it. Okay, I'll need to, no problem. Okay, it's already here. It's already here. Meanwhile, this price is really on the edge here. Maybe we should push it. We should allow some space on this side. So I will drop this, or you know, really, you can have some sized box here. Sized box after this with just 2 or 3 so that it doesn't move to the edge. You can see that. Meanwhile, this space is also big, the one we had allowed here after the image. So we can change it to something like 2. Still big. Or maybe we don't need it at all. Yeah, we don't need it. There you go. We might need more here. 5. Good. For simplicity, I would like to add, because now that we have a product or products, how do we place an order? To simplify this, I will just add a button here on this row, on the extreme side here that says order. So look at that sized box. We are inside a row here. In this row, after this, I will add a button here. So let's add a widget. Okay, we add it here. Okay, let's have material button here. We'll make the changes together as you see it. Child, which is text, and this says order. We can just go with this. Okay, you will need color for the button. Let's use colors dot blue. Let's refresh. The button is likely to this. Okay, that's not where I want it. I want it to be below the entire content here. So look at what then I have to do. I will have to wrap this again with a column. With column. And now my button should move here so that it's not on the row, it's on the column right here. Now there is one problem because we've limited this size to 100 and the button adds to the size of each element here. So I've increased the size and we have it here. I want to push it on the extreme side here. So you can either try changing this main, this is cross axis alignment, cross axis alignment to end. If it affects the other widgets, we will need to do something. If it doesn't, then that's fine. You can see this is working. This should be fine now. Order. So now, what do we place in here inside the order function? So look at what we need inside the order table. Inside the order table, we will need, let me go to the order table structure. Sorry, this is taking us to the structure of the table that we are in. Inside the orders table, we will need the ID of the order, the product ID, and the order ID. These are the details that we need for the order table. I want us to proceed from there in the next video so that this is not very long. How do we place an order and populate the orders page? That's where we want to start from next time. Thank you.